Hello, music community. The Zonk Man is back. I wasn't actually fibbing when I said I had some more videos to do. So, this is going to be, of course, what the title says, the cassette tag. Um, Hopefully, this is, yeah, anyway, different camera angle. Okay, so cassette tag we're getting into is started by the first ever 2025 cassette tag, Tony P from uh, two from the trunk. So, if you're not familiar with Tony P, you better get familiar real quick, and you better do this cassette tag. If you don't have any cassettes, then go out and buy some. So you got some cassettes to do the cassette tag, because Tony P ain't playing around. Uh, you can tell by the name Tony P. You know, he's got connections. You know, I mean, his channel name, Two from the Trunk. What do you think? They're talking about records or something like that? He's talking about how many bodies he can get in the trunk of his Cadillac. Granted, that's talking about more modern day Cadillacs, not like Cadillacs back in the 60s and the 70s where, you might be able to get six or seven bodies in the trunk. So Tony P's not messing around. And don't be fooled by this very uh, modest retired gentleman who was a teacher, I believe. He's on the WPP. He's got some. He's still got some ties. So if you don't do the cassette tag, don't be surprised if Saul shows up knocking on your door, busting out your kneecaps because you ain't done the cassette tag yet. That's all I'm saying. So the Zonk Man's getting on doing the cassette tag. Um, can you actually sit there with a straight face? Sure, I can. Um, so we're going to answer some questions real short. Hopefully, it's going to be shorter than the last video. Why do you collect cassettes? That's what Tony P's asking. Technically, I don't. But I have been very fortunate to receive um, some great gifts of collections. Um, I have had just a handful of cassettes, maybe I've bought since 2018, since I started this doing the thing with vinyl again. And I was like, I don't really need to do cassettes. This is another wormhole to go down, so I didn't need to do it. Well, of course, my uncle, along with giving his records, has given his cassettes, which was a good amount of cassettes. I'm, I can't even think of a number right offhand. And then also another buddy of mine gave cassettes and CDs. So now all of a sudden I've got all these cassettes. I say all these cassettes, and I don't even know where I'm at. Maybe around 100, something like that. So yeah. Definitely a significant amount. So I'm saying I don't collect cassettes. You're going to tell me if I didn't turn those into the Goodwill, then I do collect cassettes. Or maybe I collect cassettes just because I bought those five. Just being kind of interested. Okay, so let's get to the questions. Show your favorite artist or band on cassette. And this one I'm going to show, bam, a little Jim Morrison, An American Prayer. Of course, this was posthumously released, and they put Doors music in the background. Let's see, we'll show a little bit of that. We'll show the cassette, maybe a little cassette action there. And the significance of this cassette, because I didn't really keep cassettes. I did keep this cassette. I'm a big Doors fan. So I held on to this cassette even before the music room and all that. I had all these CDs, and somewhere in a box there was one Jim Morrison cassette. This is the cassette that I bought in 1990 at a shopette on Base. Um, Chanute Air Force Base in Rantoul, Illinois. Um, yes, that long ago. I've kept this, and you can kind of see on that. So there we go for favorite artists, of course, The Doors. But I'll show that Jim Morrison cassette just because it's probably the one of the most significant ones that I was able to hold on to as long as all these CDs. All right, second one. Best sounding cassette. I don't really know. Really because I've come across some of the cassettes that I've been given, and they start to turn. They wow. They sound bad. Um, they're done. Somebody told me, I forget what's in the cassette where it constantly degrades. That's the whole issue with tape. Is it degrades over time, whether you play it or store it correctly or not. It never sounds as good as the best day. That's something where vinyl you can at least preserve the sound for a longer period of time. But anyway, most of the cassettes has been kind of, and then every now and then I'm like, wow, listen to this cassette. It sounds just as good as the record. I mean, it is analog. Is it from that era? The one I'm going to show is not. In fact, the record probably was digital metal masters. So I'm going to show for best sounding cassette a little Eric Clapton Journeyman. This is the cassette of my uncle's, but I did have this growing up. So when it came out in '89, I had a copy of this on cassette. A little Eric Clapton Journeyman. Next question, boom. Biggest cassette find. Now, this is going to be one of those handful of cassettes that I bought starting up the records. And I came across this fairly early. I'm going to say sometime in 2019. This is Mother Love Bone Shine. This is killer to find on cassette, find on anything. Excuse me. Here, we'll show some of this. Of course, Shine is before the full-length Apple, which Apple didn't come out until after Andrew Wood passed. It was a posthumous release, but they had recorded it before. So this was an EP. So what do they do with EP cassettes? It's the same thing on both sides. So there's literally 5 songs on one side and then the exact same 5 songs on the other side. But this is a killer find, a little Mother Love Bone Shine, found in 2019. Show a mixtape you made. Of course, now this thing goes quiet. I don't currently have a mixed tape that I've made in my hand, per se, to show. That could be kind of a secret that's about to be released into the music community. But I'm going to show this was something I got with my uncle's collection, and it's bird sounds. And that's what was playing. So if you're like, what is that noise? Is there birds outside? It can't be birds outside. Depending on where you're at. It's freaking 5 degrees outside. How can there be birds chirping? So, or depending on where you're at. So I just wanted to show this. This was a mixed tape of bird sounds. And of course, now it's went completely quiet. It's probably went to the end of the tape, or end of the recording, I should say. But anyway, that's actually in the cassette player. A little fun stuff there. Best live cassette, of course, coming through, listening to these cassettes. This is the first one I come across. Sounded really, really good. Pat Benatar, Live from Earth. When was this? 83. 1983, live cassette. Great stuff. Of course, it's got all the big hits on here. Hell is for Children. Hit Me With Your Best Shot. Promises in the Dark. Heartbreaker. Love is a Battlefield. For that time. Killer stuff. This sounds really good. It was another one of those where I was like, wow, this actually sounds really good. So that may be something that was at least recorded, live album. And so it might be all digital. I don't know. Early 80s. Still could have, I'm sorry, all analog, Still could have something else going on, but I figured the record would be something good to compare to that. All right, the next one was there's a couple bonus questions. Tony wants to answer. The first one is a cassette box set. Now, this is also from the Uncle live at Monterey International Pop Festival, June 16th, 17th, and 18th of 1967. I'm sure we're all familiar with this. Now, when my uncle bought this, he actually said, "Oops, I messed up." He thought he was getting the CD box set. And it ended up being, let's see, we're going to crack this open. It ended up being the cassettes. Nice, nice box. Of course, there's a great illustrated book. You see how thick that thing is. And then, boom, 1, 2, 3, 4 cassettes. And of course, this is excerpts from all the kind of, I don't have anything written out here good. What's this? This is cassette number 3. It's got the Butterfield Blues Band, Steve Miller Band, the Electric Flag, Hugh Mascala. And all those are like, the Butterfield Blues Band had like 5 songs on here, but Steve Miller was just 1 song, Electric Flag was 2. So, and that was just one side. So, Killer box set. Yes, I have played this. It is awesome. Thank you again, Uncle Wes. Cassette Mania. Now, the second bonus question is a portable cassette player, which the Zonk Man does not have. No portable cassette player. All I've got now is the tape deck. It's actually a single tape deck. It's not even a dual tape deck for the stereo to play these wonderful cassettes that I've gotten. And that's it for Cassette Tag 2025, the Zonkman edition. Doing this for the music community and especially for Tony P, so he doesn't send Uncle Sal to my house to knock out my kneecaps. Anyway, there's a little thing called the known self and the unknown self. How you perceive yourself and how others may perceive you. All right. Thanks for watching. I do have CD tag. There's some more videos that's got to come. Hopefully, I won't just pour them all onto you this week, but there will be some consecutive videos come out, I believe. Peace.